Welcome to the Travel Squad podcast, where adventure meets inspiration. We're your hosts. I'm Brittany.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Jamal. Together we explore international destinations, hike epic national parks, and share unforgettable travel experiences with you, one passport stamp at a time.
Our mission is to inspire you to travel by showing you how you can make it work no matter your budget, schedule, or experience level.
We bring you along so that you can laugh, get excited, and start planning your own trip.
So grab your ticket and your passport.
And don't forget your travel insurance.
And get ready to embark on a new adventure with us around the globe.
Hey Squaddies, Travel Squad Podcast is back with Just the Tip, our Friday mini episode series where we give you quick travel stories, hacks, and recommendations to set you off into the weekend right.
Today we're sharing with you guys some listener feedback that we've received in the form of reviews that have really caught our eye.
All right, we're just going to ease into this, right? You know, we get a lot of really good reviews. We love all of our good reviews. We love the Squaddies that love us back. They're in our DMs, they're in our reviews. But we're not talking about you today. We're going to talk about this one.
We're talking about the haters. Before you get into it, I just want to air a little bit of grievance right here because, you know, you're kind of casually going into it, Kim. I want to say when we got our first negative review, believe it or not, I was stoked because I said when you start getting negative reviews, you know people are really listening. You're hitting a new expanded audience because somebody took the effort to say. Now, most of our reviews are fantastic. But these negative reviews, like I said earlier, have caught our eye. But it's more so not that we're upset because we got a negative review. It's that we just don't understand what these people are saying. Or if they said something, it's for the silliest thing. And I feel like a lot of the things that they say and complain about, we've actually addressed. So it's almost like they weren't even really listening to the episode.
Well, that's definitely it. And we're not taking it personally. We're here to have fun. And we're going to joke around a little bit.
Some of the reviews we get are on Apple Podcasts. We unfortunately can't respond to those, but on Spotify, you can now leave a review on an episode, not necessarily about the podcast as a whole, but on a particular episode. And we do have the option to respond to those. So Kim actually recently responded to the first one we're going to talk about.
So we'll start a little bit tame. This person said, and this was a comment on our Sedona hiking episode. So this person nicely said, I appreciate the effort, but if you are going to do a podcast on a place like Sedona, you should have spent more time there.
What did you respond back to him, Kim?
Him or her? We don't know. Was it him or her?
I'm not sure if it's him or her, but we have always said travel no matter what. If it's 6 hours you can spend in a place, if it's a week you can spend in a place, just see it. Enjoy it, take advantage of whatever time you do have available. That's what we did with Sedona, even though we have been there multiple times.
Yeah, since that episode aired, I've gone back 2 or 3 additional times. And we made that episode after Kim went once and Jamal and I went once. So we would have a lot more to add to another Sedona episode. And if they were truly listening, they would find some of those tips sprinkled into some of our other episodes.
Regardless of the fact, though, we will never stop putting out content for places that we've only visited once. And we would never encourage you to skip a place if you only had a few hours to see it.
If you really want to see it and experience it, then do it, even if you have a few hours, because then that might lead for you to go back because you loved that experience that you had there and you'll want to go back.
We've had this discussion amongst us three a lot of times saying, hey, do we even really have enough content to put out an episode on this? And that's really kind of what has spurred Just the Tip, our Friday mini episode series, right? Where we don't have too much to say to make it last a full length, the 15, 20 minutes, and that's perfect. But even though we went to Sedona for 2 days, we still had enough to talk about for an entire episode. But more importantly, Kim, to the point that you said earlier, we don't talk about it so much anymore, and maybe we should, but in a lot of our earlier episodes, we really emphasize the point. Maximize a weekend. If you can go somewhere, come back. A lot of times people say, I don't have enough time. Well, you may not have enough time to do everything.
You will never have enough time.
But you'll at least have enough time to go see it and do the highlights or 1 or 2 things and maybe encourage you then to go back or onto something new. So I don't know why she thinks this way or he thinks this way, but I'm glad we addressed that because the most important point is go when you can for however long or short that you can.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a one-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
So the next review we're going to talk about focuses on another episode-specific destination, Charleston. And we've gotten a lot of heat about Charleston in the past. And this person writes, Charleston, South Carolina. This was terrible. As someone trying to find out more about this place, the hosts sound like West Coast dimwits, a lot of excuses, not a lot of good content.
1 star. We can talk about Charleston all day, but if you listen to the episode, we specifically say we came off of a high of being in Savannah, which we absolutely loved. We went to Charleston on a Monday. Everything was closed. It was during the day. It was hot. We didn't do a guided tour for the history tour. There were things that we wanted to do that closed at 5, and we didn't know until it was too late.
What about the tree that's a little further out? That's a famous tree.
And it closed at 5.
Okay, that's the one that closed at 5.
A lot of things.
I feel like in that episode, we said a lot of times that we wish we would have done things a little bit differently. But that's the thing about our podcast is we're going to keep it real with you guys. We're going to tell you what we think. Sometimes some of us like the place. Sometimes we don't. If I think a place is overrated, I'm going to say it. Hello, Maui. We've gotten a lot of feedback on me saying like, oh, why didn't you really like Maui a lot? Well, all of us, I don't want to say we didn't like Charleston. It just didn't live up to the expectation, but we erred on the side of caution saying, hey, we recognize these things, and that's probably why we feel this way. So I understand you were maybe hoping for more, but given the fact that we said that, I don't know why you're so upset because we recognized our own errors too.
We've gotten multiple reviews about Charleston. And in addition to all of that, which is true, we also have pledged a commitment to let you know what we did and what we would do differently now that we have been there, now that we know the city, now that we planned an itinerary and realized what was the right way and wrong way to route it. That's the information I hope you get out of Charleston. Maybe the way not to do Charleston.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you listen to podcasts and it's a bunch of hype of a place. I want the real insider scoop. I want to know what's really going on. So I appreciate, and a lot of our listeners appreciate, that we're 3 different people with different opinions, and you may not agree with us.
And also, the best rooftop bar in town sucked.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, funny that you say that, Brittany, about like lots of influencers and this and that will like hype a place. If we don't like it or we felt a little bit differently about it, we're going to say it. Case in point, funny enough, this morning, Brittany sent me an Instagram reel of somebody highlighting a new revolving sushi location in San Diego that Brittany recently took me to as I came home visiting my mom in Sacramento. She's like, oh, let's go to lunch. I want to try this new place. Both Brittany and I hated it. Hated it. We didn't think it was very good at all. Yet here I am a few days later after eating at that sushi place, and I'm seeing an influencer on a reel online talking like it's so good. And then I go start reading the comments, and it's exactly what Brittany and I felt. The quality's not good. This wasn't very good. I don't know why you're acting like this is the best thing. There's so much more places.
Fake
and
news.
A lot of times, content creators will hype up a place just because that's what they're supposed to do, but that's not what we do.
Here's another good one. It's titled, It's Fine. This podcast is hard to listen to because it seems like the majority of the episodes seem to be Jamal mansplaining why he is right and the girls are ignorant? ? Very bizarre. Also, they take forever to get to the point. Listening was painful, spit it out, but some of the information was helpful. So 2 versus 1 star, but I won't ever listen again. Unenjoyable.
Well, first off, I want to say I am right. So if I'm mansplaining,
No.
Stop the mansplaining.
that was obviously a joke. Maybe somebody can't catch the satire and sarcasm.
We are sarcastic and we do like to tell jokes on our show.
Do I mansplain? I mean, I feel like I'm passionate about my opinion, but I wouldn't say that. But if I do, I will take case in point on that. But if I caused us to get a 2-star review instead of more because of the mansplain, I apologize, because they at least went in there and said some good content, which makes me feel really good about the situation. So I'll take the L on that one. That's me, but I don't feel like I do it.
Well, I have another one that you could take the L on.
Jamal gets the most complaints.
Yeah. Well, I keep it real. You know, it's easy for me to get the complaints. We got 2 lovely, beautiful ladies here. The one guy.
You're the fall guy.
Yeah. I understand. It's okay.
So this one is for Jamal too, even though they don't say it. And it's titled Stop Saying Clutch. They gave us 2 stars and it said, this would be a 4-star podcast, but they need to stop repeating the slang term clutch. Otherwise, their discussions are quite informative. Jamal, you made us lose some stars on that one.
I did. It would have been a 4 instead of a 2. As a matter of fact, one of our previous recordings, I was about to say the word clutch, and then I caught it, and then I pivoted to a different
There's
word.
nothing wrong with that word.
There's nothing.
It's a good word.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I do realize I do say it a lot, but I don't think I say it enough to where it's like it's a disgusting thing on the show that I should stop saying it. But
I
that's
think we
somebody's
actually got
opinion.
another review and we didn't include it this time. And the whole review was like clutch, clutchy, clutchy, clutch.
That's right.
Clutch.
Clutch is a very good word to use because what describes something greater than clutch? Clutch is clutch.
Handy just doesn't hit the same.
No, it's clutch.
I back you on that.
Thank you, Kim.
Even our squatty Robin, who has been on several of our trips, she has told Kim and I that Jamal says clutch a little too much. Maybe she wrote the review.
Yeah, she could. Well,
Robin, is that you that wrote that
Susie
review?
Grand 99, was that you, Robin?
if Robin really gave us 2 stars, that's hurtful.
We can take it from strangers, but not our friends.
Ah yes, the magnificent Trolley Sour Bright Crawler, also known as Trollicus brightolus. The worm's captivating neon colour makes it an easy gummy prey.
Trolley!
It's a surprisingly sour, invitingly chewy, staggeringly snackable species unlike anything else found on this planet.
Eat me!
Delicious. Visit Trolley.com to shop now.
Trolley, eat me!
This episode is brought to you by United Airlines. When you want to make the most of your vacation, book with United. They're an airline that cares about your travels as much as you do. United is transforming the flying experience with Bluetooth connectivity, screens, power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to help fit everyone's bag. And with their app, you can skip the bag check line, get live updates, and more. Change the way you fly. Book your next trip today at united.com.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting. Go to your happy place for a happy price with Priceline's Black Friday sale. Save now and travel later with our best deals of the year.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Ooh, this next one is good. This one was my turn to get targeted.
Yeah, Kim got ragged on this one. It makes me feel good. I felt like a lot of these are maybe towards me. So this is on Kim.
The title is Racist Nudge and F Word ?
We realize this is about our London episode.
So it says, really? ? Did I hear it right ? In the London episode, Jamal says, in quotes, Kim, you'll love fish and chips. It's a white fish. Kim does not like fish at all. We've talked about this over multiple episodes.
I don't eat any seafood. I hate it.
And the reason why I said whitefish is because whitefish tends to be more mild in flavor. It's not really going to taste fishy. And it's deep fried in goodness. Why wouldn't she like it?
So then they quote, Kim replies with, I'd rather have a black fish. And they said, what ? And then the F words Come on. So disappointed. Information's great. Let's take out the expletives.
Well, I guess in the London episode, they didn't appreciate the banta, bringing out the British slang with that one. But that's just a joke on a sexual innuendo that she didn't catch. And I don't know how that's a little bit racist.
Yeah, I don't understand the racist portion of it, because if Kim likes blackfish, she likes blackfish.
Blackfish, whitefish, I guess I'm a racist. But yeah, that's me, Kim, you're racist who likes blackfish.
All on fish and chips. All on fish and chips.
We actually got a lot of bad reviews about the London episode about how we pronounce things. We also didn't spend enough time there, even though it was 3 days. How dare us do these things?
I feel like it's a lot of good content, and I'm so sorry. I think it was a British person who wrote in criticizing the way that we said the Thames River. But you know what? Let's not kid ourselves. We're able to see our analytics and demographics. Most of our listeners are in America. If we said the Thames River, I don't think they'd really know. The way it looks like it's spelled is the Thames. So I'm saying it that way, and they were just absolutely disgusted by it. It's not in this review. That's just another London one. But
yeah, they
a lot
even
of hate on
said
that.
anyone with elementary school education should know how to pronounce that. And I feel like they were talking about the area, even though we are speaking English, things are pronounced a little bit differently. And we've talked about reviews that are Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but occasionally we do get essay length emails giving us feedback and criticism.
That was a good one. That was one you have to sit down with a little book light and really get comfy before you read.
Well, this next one, we kind of had to do that, even though it did come in through Apple Podcasts.
This one is actually a very recent one that we were just through a loop on this one.
I'm counting it. It is 4 paragraphs long. Each paragraph gets a little bit shorter and shorter. So the first one's the longest, second one is the second longest, etc. You get the point.
The title of it is the craziest part.
Yes. Animal cruelty is not funny. Uneducated hosts and only the most basic travel info. So this is a long one. I'm going to read it. I would like to pause for dramatics, but we talked about I should go through this fast because it is a long one.
No. We said that we're going to read it, and then when there's something to address, we're just going to address it on the
There's a lot to address.
Well, let's start right off the bat. I'll read the first couple sentences because I think my sentence
explain yourself.
Well, I mean, I guess that's going to get in a little bit further. I think she's referencing Morocco when we're talking about the monkey that scratched me and almost gave me a disease that Nurse Brittany and Nurse Kasha, who was on that trip, mocked me for, but everyone else who I told said, no, yeah, I'd be concerned too. But anyway, I can't help that they have trained monkeys out there, and that's somehow animal cruelty on my part. I didn't choose to pet it. I didn't pay for it. It chased me if they listened to the podcast. But let's get into the review here. Within the first couple sentences, we'll address something. I wanted to like this podcast, but certain things are just unacceptable. The hosts seem focused mostly in snapping pictures for their Instagrams instead of actually learning about the locations they visit.
First of all,
false. False.
I feel like when we go on places and we don't do a guided tour, we always say like we're going to do a walking tour because we want to learn about the history and get information about that destination. So that is false.
You can do both. Learn about a destination and get pictures of it. And excuse me to this person, but have you ever heard of a travel photographer?
Yes.
People like
That's exactly what they do.
People like getting travel photos. They're pretty. I love looking at my travel photos. Is it the number one thing I'm doing to go to a destination? No. But obviously, I want a photo. I want to remember my trip there.
And you want to look good while you're doing it. You don't want a bad photo of you, right?
I don't want to look bad doing anything.
Of course.
So
that's just bad human character.
Okay,
You don't want to look bad doing anything. Sentence 3, because I feel like this needs to be addressed. This is what upsets me the most. They were shocked there were no Western-style bathrooms for them in the middle of the Serengeti Jeep tour. Are you kidding? It's a preserved natural area, not Disney World, you fools.
Ooh. Yes. They're calling us out. They're throwing names out there. But I just want to address, we've never been to the Serengeti.
If you listen to the episode, yeah, we were never in the Serengeti.
And we love bathrooms of all different types.
And maybe we had talked about the different types of toilets, but we do this on most episodes. There was no surprise. In Africa, I never anticipate a Western style toilet.
In fact, I love seeing all the different types of bathrooms there are.
Because in our safari episodes, it's either Uganda or South Africa. And I think maybe she might be referencing South Africa when Anna had to really use the restroom in the middle of a safari when we're watching a lion hunt. The tour guide had to go. You were like, well, if he's allowing her to get out of the Jeep, I'm going to get out too. And you both did a piss squat behind the Jeep, but I don't think there was any shock. And we may have referenced we were nowhere near the restrooms because it is a national park. There are visitor areas where they have restrooms, but what was she talking
They
about?
specifically say Western, though.
Yeah, but maybe they misheard because there have been times on safari where we have encountered Western style bathrooms, and that was surprising. So, did they just mishear it? Not quite sure, but we just want to say, one, we've never been to the Serengeti, and two, no, anytime we were in Africa, we were not surprised to find no Western toilets.
The one thing I do love about this review is you can tell that they listened to a lot of episodes because they have very detailed feedback.
So they're upset, but they still continue to listen. They kind of like it.
They like the torture. They don't like us, but they like listening.
Should I continue from where I left off or address a different portion here? Because I feel like the next thing could be addressed, but also paragraph 2.
Actually, I want to talk about this one.
Okay. So continuing on, no visit to the Doge Palace in Venice because they charge to enter? ? No mention of the city's centuries of history as a world trading center, their artistic legacy, or the current concerns over tourism and the impact of climate change. Apparently, all they did was visit the basilica and take photos on the Rialto because it was free. Any 5-minute read on a decent travel blog would have a better sense of the city.
So, even though Jamal is our resident historian, we are not, have never, and will never be a culture and history podcast. We tell you about our trips and how we do them. Some things we pay for, and some things we don't.
Sometimes we have limited time in an area. In this case, we only had one full day in Venice, and we picked the things that we wanted to do.
The free things, because, we're on a budget.
Well, no, not only that, it's not like, oh, we went to Italy and we only had one day in Venice. We did a Dalmatian coast tour, and we were in Albania, Montenegro, Croatia, Slovenia, and then the closest airport at that point to fly out was Venice. But on the guided tour, we told them, no, we don't want to fly out this day. We're leaving out of Venice. Give us an extra day. We only had one day, and we were coming off 14 days of doing other stuff. So the stuff we did was just walking around and seeing the main stuff. I'm sorry I didn't go to the Doge Palace. Mm-hmm. And yes, I did mention they charged, so we didn't want to go. But it's not like we don't pay to go to museums.
The $5 fee was too steep.
Yeah, €5, Kim, €5.
Mm-hmm. A little bit more.
Get your culture right.
I know.
And also, here's another thing for you squatties. If you want to go to Venice and not pay to go into a single museum, you can still have a very, very good time in Venice. Just walking the alleys, having bites at a table on the courtyard, and just being in a destination. And that is perfectly fine.
Jamal, continue on to the second paragraph, because let me tell you, we're only on paragraph 2 of 4 now.
Start of paragraph 2.
Read the whole thing.
Similarly, the Dakotas road trip name drops General Custer, but makes no mention of the native peoples and their forced relocation to and from the Badlands area, except to say they refused to pay the entrance fee to the visitor center at the Crazy Horse Memorial. If they had bothered to enter, they would have received some obviously needed education on the area's native people and would have contributed to the funding to the unfinished memorial that they found disappointing when viewed from the highway, but instead they paid to visit Mount Rushmore and talk about it for 30 minutes.
There's a lot to say about that. But
explain yourselves.
I know, right? Well, when you go on a trip, you only have so much time. And we knew we wanted to see Mount Rushmore. And I had heard of the Crazy Horse Memorial, but I had also read that it was unfinished, and it's very largely unfinished, not just like a portion of it. They only have the man's face and like a arm stretched out done, but the whole horse that the person's supposed to be riding is not even to completion, and they have no date for completion. And you can view it from the highway, and inside of the memorial you can do museums and things like that. But the amount of time that you would need to spend there, which is probably 2 to 3 hours, we just didn't have to allot in our schedule. So we decided to forego it. It was not a money cost. It was we just didn't have time, and it was not high on our priority list.
And I just want to say, if Mount Rushmore was free and I could see it from the highway, that would have been good for me.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Mount Rushmore is free. They only charge to parkers. But I want to address some of the other stuff. We went to General Custer State Park. Custer, unfortunately, of course, savagely murdered a lot of Native Americans, genocided them, really. But
Did you get this education on the trip? Or
I did not, but I can't help the fact that the name of the state park I went to is named after him. That is not my prerogative, nor in the episode am I feeling like, oh, I should address the fact.
So now you're the racist one.
I guess so. And when I went to UC Davis, I was a history major with my emphasis being in American history. I know all about it. So for her to say, oh, if I went to the museums, I would actually know, blah, blah, blah. I find that to be offensive. Again, like you said, this is not a history podcast. I'm not trying necessarily to give the lesson. Most people are going to be going to Mount Rushmore in the area. Most people are going to go to General Custer State Park because it has wildlife, regardless of the fact of who it's named for. So to take offense from that we didn't address it, that's not what we're here necessarily to do.
You keep calling our reviewer a female, and we don't know if it's a male.
I'm going to
female,
guess it's a female.
But
hey,
I
now
feel
we're going to be sexist.
I have male energy on this, and their name
think so.
started with Finn, and I don't know any females that would go by Finn something. So anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and say this is male energy.
Let's call them they from now forward.
Okay, well, she's a sexist too because she's getting male energy. I'm getting female energy from the review, but that's neither here nor there. That was only paragraph 2. Let's continue to 3. Joking and laughing at the monkey forced to pose with tourists in Morocco and literally laughing about, in quotes, what the guy must have done to the monkey, in quotes, to train it.
Ah, this is where the animal abuse comes in.
Yes,
They say abuse, that's what's done.
it's not amusing. I'm sure they also wrote elephants and handled tiger cubs because, hey, animal abuse doesn't matter if you get a good Instagram post out of it.
Ooh.
Okay,
So I did get a good Instagram post with elephants in Thailand. I did not ride them, but I did bathe them and I did feed them.
It's an elephant sanctuary because unfortunately humans have encroached. Now they have to unfortunately be taken care of to some degree. But no, I have not ridden an elephant. No, I have not handled a tiger. And no, I didn't even pay to take a photo with the trained monkey that you find so blasphemous. Again, I can't help the circumstance of when I'm in Morocco, in Marrakesh, that they have snake charmers and monkey handlers. If you listen to it, the monkey actually chased me
Human abuse.
and scratched me. And so I'm sorry to say that, you know, if the owner was upset because he was chasing me because I happened to just take a photo, I didn't pay to handle it, and he wanted some sort of tip that the monkey is trained to really be aggressive when the owner is aggressive. Again, where are you coming off on us on that? I just don't understand.
And in conclusion, this is not a podcast for any conscientious traveler interested in more than a surface overview of a location. If you can read, you're better off just reading travel blogs for better advice.
We got a good kick out of this one. It kind of amped us up. You can hear it a little bit in my voice, but I also did get a good kick out of this one. I got a good kick out of all of them.
I don't think reading blogs is better than podcasts. Maybe I'm biased to podcasts, but we're going to give you the flavor that we experienced firsthand. We're going to make you feel like you're there with us, whether you like it or not. And maybe in addition to our show, you should read travel blogs. You should listen to other travel podcasts. You should get multiple perspectives on a destination. We like that. We do that too.
I really hope what you squatties took away by listening to this is, of course, just the fun banter that we have. We do read these reviews. It may sound like we take it personally, but more of it is just really confusion. I take the positive. I take the critical feedback that I say clutch too much. Understood. But some of the other stuff I just don't get, and it's more we're confused by it. So we think this is a funny episode for you guys to hear, because if you are still listening, you like our content, probably didn't take any grievances to this, and we thought you would get a good laugh out of it.
Hey, and if you want to send in a follow-up, if one of these reviews were yours and you want to, continue the conversation, write on in.
Or if you want to just leave us a review and tell
A
us what
positive
you think,
one.
you can do that too.
We are going to do another episode talking about positive reviews because we've had overwhelmingly more positive than negative, and we love them, and we love all of you squatties. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's Just the Tip.
Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on all the socials at Travel Squad Podcast.
And have fun traveling this weekend.
Bye, Squaddies.